Happy Thursday, co-creators, and welcome to another edition of Teena Sessions, 365 inspirational quotes with me, your life coach, Teena Jones. How is everyone doing on this pre-Friday? Hope your day was wonderful and fantastic. And if you're new, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for choosing to take this journey with me. All my loyal viewers, you know how much I love, adore, and appreciate each and every one of you. Well, it's Thursday, so we're going to talk about prosperity, money, wealth. Most of you love Thursdays. And so before we get started, let's kick off with a life quote by Abraham Lincoln. I will study and prepare myself, and someday my chance will come. We're going to talk about staying ready so you'll never have to get ready. How does that sound? Many of us have provisions, if something goes wrong. That's why people have a little savings for a rainy day. But what about when things go right? Are you prepared for when things go right? When what you have dreamed actually comes true? I'm going to give you a little story about my situation, the first time that I experienced this, and in an effort to try to encourage you to know the importance of preparation. Years ago, back when I was, I think, 20, 21 years old, I'll say in 1993, I started a company called AJA Enterprises. And what we did is we made air fresheners. At the time, it was my ex-husband, my husband at that time, and I was manufacturers of this air freshener product. And initially, it was in a plastic little bag, like a square 4x4 bag, and it was cork. And we had oil, and it was not very pleasant to look at, but it smelled so good. So we knew one day we wanted to be in a major market store. We were preparing for that. And so we would sell our product on the weekends. We sell them at different trade shows. We sell them, children would sell them for different fundraising. And then as we accrued more money, we started to change the packaging. And once we changed the packaging, we went to get a UPC code. That's the code that's on the back of any of the items you buy at the grocery store, so they can scan and the product will come up. So we just scan, and there it is. So we invested in that. And at the time, we didn't have a major store or anything like that, but we were preparing ourselves. So every time we had a little bit more than just surviving to pay our bills, we, like I said, we increased our packaging from this ugly plastic to a nice, general merchandise, pleasant looking packaging, which cost money. And then once we did that, we got the UPC code, and then we had the 4-color processing. And so little by little, we got $1 million product liability insurance, because we knew that people, we had it in stores, we had to have coverage, we had to have liability insurance. So we even gotten that. All this was preparing. Now, we didn't have anybody in mind. We knew we wanted to be in a major market store, but we didn't know what store. We didn't care. And so after about a year of doing this, one day, a guy that we working and he was a small time distributor. He would sell a lot of our products. He called me one day and he said, Teena, Kroger is doing this thing. They had a big write-up in the newspaper that they are now working with small businesses to try to help them get a foot into major market stores such as Kroger. So Kroger, along with, I believe it was, I forget, I think it's like, it wasn't the Better Business Bureau, but it was something like that in Dallas. They're working together, and they're going to do this think tank for about 6 weeks for small businesses to see how it is to get into Kroger, And then once you bring your product or service up to standard, they'll give you opportunity to make a pitch. And so he said, I saw this right up in the Dallas Morning News. I called the people, but they said the class already filled up. I mean, it filled up in an hour, right? That's what he told me. He said, and I asked if they're going to have another class again. And they said, well, this is something new. If it's successful, then yeah, but we just really don't have anything for next class. Well, when he told me that, now I'll say this. I was very aggressive in my 20s. I mean, I didn't let grass grow up under my feet at all. So when he told me that, I thought to myself, Oh, I'm not waiting to the next class. I said, well, what is the guy's name? Where's the number? Because I don't have a newspaper in front of me. So he gave me the name. He said, but why are you calling them? I've already called them. I said, I just wanted to ask him another question that you didn't ask. He said, okay. So I called and no one answered. So I called again and it was the Kroger out in Keller, Texas, near Dallas. I called and this time there was a guy answered. He said, oh, my assistant, left the desk. He told me his name and I told him I gave my elevator pitch right there. I know you don't have any more seats. This is why you need to have me in the class. Boom, 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 boom. He said, well, don't tell anyone, but I'm going to save a spot for you. What is your name and your phone number and the name of your company? So I called the guy back and I told him. It's like, what? Yeah, I got in. So took the class. Long story short, it's about 6 weeks long. And they went over everything you needed in order to even get in front of Kroger, even before you even set foot in front of a buyer. Okay. And so we had check mark everything. $1 million liability insurance check. You had to have packaging, 4-color packaging, and a UPC code. Check, check. And there were some other things. We checked every single thing, and by the time that class was over, I was able to make a pitch in front of that buyer right away. They gave us 90 days. They said you have 90 days, I believe it was, to get your product or service prepared in order to go in front of Kroger. We didn't have to wait. We were already ready to go. And so when that class was over, I made my pitch. We got into Kroger, not just in Texas, but Georgia and Cincinnati. Went to the corporate office there in Cincinnati, Ohio, and was able to secure that purchase order. And so I think back to that experience and I use it to this day about preparation. Whatever it is that you need to do to prepare yourself, and if you see smoke, that's my incense. Those are like, what is going on? Is she smoking? No, that's my incense. I burn them all over the house. So this one is pretty strong. It's pretty robust. But anyway, preparation is so important. Even when, you want to, say, for instance, start your own business or go back to school, there are things you can do. Say yes to those things. Start making little bitty steps in that direction. And you'll see your opportunity will come knocking. Just like the quote said, prepare yourself, do what you can do right now so that when the opportunity came, because when Mike, that's the guy named that called me, I had no idea. I hadn't read the newspaper. I had no idea that opportunity was right there, but he did. And the universe knew. So when you start preparing yourself, doing, okay, what is something I can do right now with the resources and the finances that I currently have to make my dreams come true? If it's going back to school, okay, I need to go and investigate which school do I want to go to. If it's starting your own business, okay, what kind of business do I want to do? You already know? Great. Let me start looking into SBA loans. I've had several SBA loans. And so starting that process and looking into, okay, let me fill out a loan application. Let me see all the information that they need. Don't allow your mind to get so overwhelmed into thinking, oh, that's never going to happen, or none of that. You can start with baby steps, and start putting those things together. Just putting them, lining them all up, because it's letting the universe know that I'm serious, that this is something that I'm very passionate about. And so once you have all your eggs in a row, your call is going to come one day. You never know how, you never know when, you never know through who. You just never know, And so that's why prepare. That is what today's session about. Are you prepared for success? Are you prepared? Are you ready? So that when you get the phone call, you're like, oh, check mark, check mark, check mark. I don't have to say, oh, wait a minute. Oh no, I didn't have to do any of that. It's just so exhilarating to know everything was in order. And so when I made the pitch, there was, everything was in order. As far as all the product that we needed, I made deals with the manufacturers of those products, and said, hey, I've got a big purchase order. Be prepared. Are you guys ready for like 50,000, pieces? If I need 50,000 worth of merchandise at one time, once a month, are you going to be prepared for that? And if they couldn't, I made sure that I find other resources, backup resources. because it's all about lining it all up, because you never know when your blessing will come. It can be just around the corner. And if you're not ready, you're going to be caught like, oh my goodness, opportunity was there and you weren't ready. You never want to be the reason for the holdup. Never want to be the reason. You want to be waiting. You don't want somebody waiting on you, you know. So be prepared. If you're not prepared, get prepared. Do what you can do right now to line it up. It's not enough to just dream about it. You got to take some action steps. Whatever action steps you can take it. Do it. This is your opportunity. All right? All right. The affirmation of the day is I'm always ready. And I am. I hope you are too. All right, let's get ready for the guided meditation. If you need to change rooms, get your headphones, whatever you need to do to prepare yourself, let's get started. All right. And if you are ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale and release. Once again, take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale and release. I am always ready for my opportunities to shine. Everything is happening and unfolding in divine order. And when my time comes, I will be ready for success. My mind is ready. My heart is ready. I'm ready for God to rain down His blessings on me. Thank you, God, for what's coming to me. Thank you for the blessings that are headed my way. I'm excited and I am at peace at what is in store for me. Whatever action steps I need to take, I take them. I take them with anticipation and excitement of what's coming to me. I know that when I do my part, the universe always does its part. So I'm no longer the reason for the holdup. I'm so happy, I'm so delighted with how everything is unfolding for me. And so it is. Thank you all. I love each and every one of you. Have a good night.